Most people are not truly living, they are simply passing through time. Caught between the regrets of yesterday and the anticipation of tomorrow, they miss the only time that truly belongs to them, this moment. You might think life is a destination waiting somewhere in the future, a goal to be achieved someday, but that mindset is the greatest illusion of all. Life is not something that happens later. It's happening now. It's not waiting for you to arrive. It's unfolding right before your eyes. But if you're not mentally and emotionally present, you'll miss it, and one day you'll wonder where it all went. The present moment is not a stepping stone to something else. It is the foundation of everything. It is where reality breathes, where change begins, and where your power lies. We live in a world that is always rushing and pushing us forward into what's next, while dragging us back into what already happened. But peace doesn't exist in the whirlwind of yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's uncertainties. It exists in the stillness of now. Every time you center yourself in the now, you reclaim your life from chaos. You bring your focus back to what you can actually control, your thoughts, your energy, your response. Living in the now means noticing the richness in everyday moments. It's in the sunrise that paints the sky with new hope. It's in the laugh of a loved one, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the power of a deep breath. When you slow down enough to be fully present, you begin to realize that life isn't something you chase, it's something you experience. You stop measuring time and accomplishments and start measuring it in awareness. You begin to see that fulfillment doesn't come from accumulation, but from attention to the now. You can't rewrite the past, and no amount of overthinking can predict the future. The past is a memory, and the future, and that's a possibility. But now, in this exact moment, is where everything real happens. Your growth begins here. Your healing begins here. Your decisions, your transformation, your courage, all of it starts now. And if you wait for the perfect time, you'll keep waiting forever. The present is already perfect. It's not flawless, but it is the only place where you can act, feel, and change. The mind will try to distract you. It loves to replay old wounds and rehearse future fears. But your mind is not your master. It's your tool, and you must take control. Every time your thoughts drift into worry or regret, gently pull yourself back. Ask yourself, what is real right now? What can I touch, feel, see, and do in this very breath? That's your reality. That's your ground. That's your peace. And it's always available. Living in the now doesn't mean ignoring your dreams or denying your past. It means grounding yourself so deeply in the present that neither your history nor your hopes can steal your clarity. You still set goals, you still reflect, but you don't get lost in the fog of what was or what could be. You walk with your feet planted firmly in the now, using each moment as a stepping stone to something greater, but never abandoning the beauty of what already is. Your life is not a highlight reel. It's not made of grand milestones alone. It's built in the quiet seconds that pass unnoticed, unless you're paying attention. Every conversation, every small act of kindness, every decision to breathe instead of break, these are the moments that shape you. But they require your presence. They require you to wake up and engage, not later, not when things are easier. Now, we're taught to multitask, to hustle, to always be reaching. But sometimes the greatest strength is in stillness. The boldest act is to be completely here. Not distracted, not divided, but fully alive. When you're present, you stop waiting for life to happen and you start living it. You begin to see that peace isn't something you find, it's something you create by choosing to be fully here, no matter what is happening around you. You see, the most successful people aren't just the ones who plan better, they're the ones who pay attention, they listen deeply, they act consciously, they move with awareness. And that presence gives them power, the power to respond instead of react, to create instead of chase, to grow instead of escape. When you live in the now, you become the author of your reality. You stop being a prisoner of time and start becoming the master of it. Fear lives in the future, pain lives in the past, but peace, it lives here, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this conscious choice to be aware. Right now is your chance to change the story. Right now is your opportunity to reset your focus, to center your energy, to reconnect with yourself. You don't need to wait for a new week, a new month, or a new year. You need to awaken to the power of now. Because the truth is, your life isn't guaranteed past this moment. Tomorrow is not promised. Yesterday is not owed. But today, this minute, is yours. So how will you use it? Will you waste it in worry? Will you bury it under regret? Or will you breathe it in fully, embrace it deeply, and live it unapologetically? Let this be your turning point. The moment you stop waiting and start living, be present with yourself. Be present with others. Be present with your work, your thoughts, your joy, and even your struggles. Because the only way to live a full life is to be fully in it. Not ahead of it, not behind. But in it, your freedom starts now, your peace begins now, your power lives now. This is not just another moment, this is the moment, the one you've been waiting for, the one that holds all the others. So show up for it. Don't just pass through this life distracted and disconnected. Choose to live it right here, right now. This is your life, and it's happening in this very moment. Live in the now and watch everything change. The greatest enemy of the present moment is noise, and not just the loudness of the world, but the constant chatter of your own mind. It's the voice that keeps replaying your failures, the thoughts that worry about things you can't control, the endless need to be somewhere else, do something more, or become someone different. Noise isn't just external, it's internal, and until you learn to silence it, you'll never feel the full power of the now. Every single day, you are bombarded with distractions, notifications, opinions, headlines, fears, ambitions, doubts, and in the middle of all that chaos, the present moment is whispering, trying to get your attention. But the truth is, most people can't hear it because their minds are too loud. Their thoughts are too busy. Their lives are too full of unnecessary urgency. We've become addicted to stimulation. We scroll when we're bored. We plan while we're resting. We talk while we're supposed to be listening. But this constant stimulation comes at a cost, and the cost of clarity, connection, and peace. To live in the now, you must learn to unplug from that noise. You must learn the discipline of stillness. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means being fully engaged with what you're doing without being pulled in 1,000 directions. It means giving your complete attention to one thing at a time, whether that's a conversation, a task, a walk, or a moment of silence. When your mind is scattered, your power is scattered. But when your focus is unified, you become unstoppable. You move with intention. You act with purpose. You experience life in high definition. Silencing the noise is not about escaping reality. It's about returning to it. It's about tuning out what doesn't matter so you can tune into what does. Most people are living on autopilot, doing things out of habit, not choice. But you're not here to live unconsciously. You're here to awaken. And awakening starts with awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, your environment, your energy. Presence is the doorway to that awareness. When you are present, you can observe your mind instead of being controlled by it. You can separate the voice in your head from your true self. And once you do that, you reclaim your power. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you were fully present? Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. When was the last time you sat in silence without needing to be entertained? When did you last listen to someone without forming your reply in your head? When did you last eat a meal without scrolling on your phone or rushing through it? These small moments reveal everything. They reveal how fragmented we've become and how desperately we need to return to presence. Stillness is a forgotten art, but within it lies the most powerful kind of clarity. It's in the silence that you hear your deepest truth. It's in the pause that your intuition speaks. It's in the breath between thoughts that peace arises. But you must be brave enough to face that silence. Most people avoid it because they're afraid of what they might feel. They're afraid of the sadness, the pain, the discomfort that might rise to the surface. But that discomfort is your teacher. It's your soul asking to be healed. And healing only happens when you're present enough to feel. You don't need to go to a mountaintop or a meditation retreat to find presence. You just need to be here, completely here. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Look around and really see. Hear the sounds. Taste your food. Speak with intention. Move with grace. This is what it means to live. Not to rush through the minutes, but to savor them. Not to chase moments, but to sink into them. The world will keep trying to pull you away from yourself. It will tempt you with distractions, with comparisons, with 1,000 shiny things that promise happiness. But none of those things will ever give you what the present moment can, because nothing outside of you can replace what's already within you. And what's within you is enough, more than enough, if you're willing to be still enough to access it. Let go of the idea that you must always be doing something. Productivity is not the same as presence. You can be busy and still be lost. You can check off every task and still feel empty. But when you're present, even the simplest moments feel profound. A conversation becomes meaningful. A walk becomes therapy. A meal becomes sacred. A deep breath becomes a reset. And this doesn't require perfection, but it requires attention. So how do you begin to silence the noise? Start by creating space in your day for quiet. Even 5 minutes of intentional presence can change your energy. Put your phone down, close your eyes, breathe. Watch your thoughts like clouds drifting in the sky. Don't judge them, just notice them. And bring your focus gently back to the now. Do this again and again, and slowly your mind will begin to quiet. Your awareness will expand, your energy will shift, and the noise that once controlled you will lose its grip. Presence is not a one-time decision, it's a practice. And like any practice, it gets easier with consistency. You won't always get it right, your mind will wander, distractions will come. But the moment you realize you've drifted is the moment you have the power to return. That's the beauty of now. It always welcomes you back. When you live in the now, you stop waiting for happiness and start creating it. You stop needing things to change before you can feel peace. You stop reacting out of habit and start responding out of awareness. You become intentional, deliberate, grounded. You stop being a victim of time and start becoming its master. Time no longer slips through your fingers. It becomes something you hold with reverence. And the deeper your presence, the deeper your relationships. People can feel when you're fully with them. They can sense when your attention is sincere. And in a world that's starved for real connection, your presence becomes a gift. It's not your words that leave a legacy. It's your presence. It's how you make others feel seen, heard, and valued. Living in the now doesn't mean life becomes easy, but it does become real. And when life is real, you can handle anything. You can face pain without panic. You can embrace joy without clinging. You can walk through change with calm. Because you're not fighting what is, you're flowing with it. You're in rhythm with life, not resistance to it. And that rhythm gives you strength. So choose to silence the noise, not just once, but every day. Create pockets of presence. Protect your peace. Train your mind to focus. Anchor your soul in the now. Because this moment, this breath is not just a pause between what was and what will be. It is everything. And when you truly live in it, you'll realize you never needed more time. You just needed more presence. Life is not a problem to be solved. It's a moment to be experienced. And that experience begins here instead in this quiet, powerful, beautiful now. Let the noise fall away. Let the distractions dissolve. Let yourself arrive fully. And when you do, you'll discover that everything you've been searching for is not in the next achievement, the next goal, or the next chapters. It's Eddie here, waiting patiently in the now. There's an old Zen proverb that says, let go or be dragged. And if there's ever been a more powerful call to live in the now, it's that one line. The past has a way of chaining us down. Not physically, but emotionally and mentally. We carry guilt like a shadow. We drag regrets like broken luggage. And we replay moments in our heads, trying to rewrite them with different endings. But life doesn't move backward, it only flows forward. If you don't let go of the pain, it will pull you under. If you don't release the weight, it will crush your spirit. To live in the now, you must be willing to unclench your grip on what no longer serves you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean erasing your memories or pretending things didn't happen. Letting go means releasing the emotional anchor that's tying you to the past. It means no longer allowing yesterday's wounds to define today's identity. You cannot heal if you keep picking at the same scars. You cannot grow if you're still rooted in yesterday's soil. Every day you hold on to something that has already happened, you rob yourself of the full experience of the moment unfolding in front of you. But why is it so hard to let go? Because the mind loves to cling to what it knows. Even pain can become familiar. And what's familiar feels safe, even if it hurts. Letting go requires courage. It means facing uncertainty. It means trusting that the present will support you even if you don't have all the answers. It means stepping into a new chapter with an open heart, even if the last one left you bruised. But that's what living in the now demands. Trust. You can't live fully in the moment if you're still holding hands with ghosts from the past. To rise above, you must start thinking intentionally. You must learn to direct your thoughts like a conductor directs a symphony. Every belief, every idea, every internal voice must be examined, challenged, and restructured if necessary. Most of the limitations holding you back were not placed by life. They were installed by thought patterns that no longer serve you. Maybe someone told you years ago that you weren't good enough, and you've been carrying that voice in your head ever since. Maybe you failed once, and that failure became a narrative. But hear this clearly, your thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something doesn't make it true, especially if that thought is built on fear, doubt, or old wounds. So how do you take control? You start by becoming aware. Awareness is the first step to liberation. Start noticing the words you speak to yourself. Are they empowering or limiting? Do they fuel your growth or feed your fear? Change your language and you'll begin to change your world. Stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I'm learning. Stop saying, it's too late, and start saying, now is the perfect time. Speak to yourself with power, not pity, with focus, not fear. Your internal dialogue is your greatest source of strength or sabotage. And it's not just what you think, it's what you feed your mind daily. You wouldn't fill your body with poison and expect to feel energized, so why would you flood your mind with garbage and expect to feel strong? Protect your mental diet. Consume content that uplifts, teaches, and challenges you. Read books that expand your thinking. Listen to voices that pull you forward, not drag you down. Cut out anything that doesn't serve your vision, even if it's familiar. That means unfollowing toxic influencers, distancing from negative people, and disconnecting from noise that adds no value to your growth. Curate your environment with the same care you would curate your future, because they are directly connected. And once you've protected your mind from the external noise, go deeper. Start to notice the internal noise, the overthinking, the overanalyzing, the constant mental chatter. Most of your anxiety comes from the stories you tell yourself about what could go wrong, instead of focusing on what you can control. Train your mind to focus on solutions, not problems. Possibility, not limitation. Presence, not panic. Meditation isn't just a spiritual practice, it's mental training. Start your day with 5 minutes of silence. Just 5 minutes to breathe, observe, and connect with your inner compass. You'll be shocked how powerful that silence becomes over time. You don't need a louder life, you need a clearer one. Clarity is found in the quiet, in solitude, in focused time without distractions. That's where your vision is crafted. That's where your goals become strategies. That's where your power is restored. The world wants you to believe that busyness equals importance, that being constantly connected is necessary, but true high performers know the opposite is true. They protect their time. They protect their energy. They say no to things that don't align, even if they're popular. And they do it without guilt, because they understand that success requires clarity, and clarity requires silence. Let's talk about mental ownership. Taking ownership of your mind means no more blaming circumstances for your emotions. It means no more waiting for motivation to show up. It means refusing to let fear decide your future. When you own your mind, you become the source of your energy, not the victim of your environment. You stop waiting for the perfect mood to act, and you begin acting to create the perfect mood. You no longer need everything around you to change. You become the change. You set the two. Now, you raise the vibration. You walk into rooms not needing energy, but bringing it. The world is chaotic, but your mind doesn't have to be. The storm around you can rage, but the storm within you must be still. That's where your strength lives, and the ability to stay calm when others panic, to stay focused when others are distracted, to stay aligned when others chase every shiny object. The more grounded you become internally, the more powerful you become externally. People will notice, they'll feel your presence, they'll sense your certainty, because in a world that's constantly spinning, the one who stands still commands the most power. Don't let your mind drift through life. Train it with discipline. Mental strength, like physical strength, comes from resistance. When you face challenges and choose to think clearly instead of emotionally, you grow. When you feel fear and choose action anyway, you grow. When you're overwhelmed and choose focus, you grow. Every time you reclaim control of your thoughts, you strengthen your inner warrior, and that strength builds layer by layer until nothing can shake you. You are not your past, you are not your pain, you are not your failures, you are the thinker behind the thoughts. You have the ability to rewrite every narrative, to reconstruct every belief, to build a mental empire so strong that no external force can break it. That's the goal, not just to be physically strong or financially secure, but to be mentally bulletproof, to live with such clarity and conviction that nothing can derail you. So stop giving away your power. Stop letting small things steal your peace. Stop letting temporary problems define your permanent potential. Take it all back. Own your emotions, own your decisions, own your focus. When you own your mind, you own your destiny. No more blaming, no more waiting, no more distractions. This is your mental battlefield, and it's time to win the war. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't run. Breathe, don't react, reflect, don't quit, reset. The noise will always be there, but now you know how to rise above it. You know how to silence it. You know how to replace it with power, with clarity, with intention. This is not just mental motivation. This is mental mastery. It begins today. It begins now. It begins with one decision: to no longer be controlled by chaos, but to be driven by clarity. Let others live in noise. You were made for focus. Let others chase attention. You were born for impact. Let others drown in distraction. You will rise in discipline. Because when your mind is aligned, your world follows. Own your mind, master your world, and let the rest of your life reflect the power of that choice. Excuses are seductive. They sound logical, even protective. They wrap you in a warm blanket of comfort and keep you far from the cold winds of growth. But the harsh truth is this: every excuse you make is a silent agreement to remain the same. You can either have excuses or evolution, but you cannot have both. The life you want, the future you imagine, the version of you that you're desperate to meet, none of it will come to pass if you continue to defend your limitations. Transformation demands confrontation. You must confront your lies, your delays, your justifications, and burn them at the altar of action. Excuses are the invisible anchors that slow your ship. You think you're moving, but you're drifting in circles. They show up quietly, wearing clever disguises. I don't have time, I'm not ready, I'm too tired, I have too much on my plate, maybe next week. But if we're honest, these aren't reasons, they're stories. Narratives you've told yourself so many times that you now mistake them for truth. The only way to shift your life is to call them what they are: limitations you've chosen to believe. Let's break the myth of readiness. Readiness is not a requirement, it's a result. You don't get ready by waiting, you get ready by moving, you gain confidence by doing, you build belief by taking that first imperfect step. The most dangerous lie you can tell yourself is that you'll start when things calm down. Things don't calm down, they escalate. Life doesn't slow for your comfort. If anything, it speeds up. So waiting for a perfect moment is like waiting for silence in a thunderstorm. It's a delay tactic rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of discomfort. But fear is a compass, not a cage. When you feel it, it usually means you're facing the right direction. The people who live extraordinary lives aren't fearless. They're action takers. They move in spite of fear. They show up when it's inconvenient. They take risks, not because they're reckless, but because they know that growth lives outside of certainty. Comfort zones are prisons built with invisible walls, and the key to freedom is movement. One action, one decision, one leap that says, I choose purpose over paralysis. You must make a powerful choice. Either continue feeding your excuses or start feeding your fire. Because excuses are hungry. They grow with attention. The more you believe in them, the more control they gain over you. But fire, your drive, your ambition, your hunger, also grows when you feed it. When you act, even in small ways, you fan that flame, and eventually it becomes unstoppable. The secret? Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. You don't need a 10-step plan. You need a single step executed with full commitment. Action is the bridge between ideas and results. You can have the best goals in the world, the most inspiring vision, and still end up nowhere if you never act. Dreams don't work until you do. There's a graveyard of intentions buried beneath Tay. Weight of excuses. Don't add yours to that list. Don't let your story end as a what if or almost. Let it become a testimony of action, of execution, of relentless progress. Yes, you will stumble, you will fall, you will get rejected, but none of that is a reason to stop. It's a reason to continue. Every failure you survive adds armor to your character. Every scar becomes proof of your strength. There is no progress without resistance. The gym builds muscle through tension. The mind builds power through challenge. The spirit builds resilience through adversity. So don't run from the struggle. Step into it. Get into the arena. Let the critics watch. Let the doubts scream, but don't back down. This is where warriors are made. You want clarity? Take action. You want momentum? Take action. You want to feel alive again? Take action. Action solves what thinking cannot. Action rewires the brain. It transforms confusion into clarity and hesitation into confidence. The longer you wait, the heavier your excuses become. They grow roots, they entrench themselves. But the moment you act, you uproot their power. You remind yourself that you are not your thoughts, you are your choices. High performers don't have fewer excuses, they just have stronger commitments. They don't wake up every day excited to work. They wake up knowing that how they feel doesn't determine what they do. They've made a decision that success is non-negotiable, that progress is part of their identity, that quitting is not on the table. They operate from a code, not a mood, and that's what separates them from the rest. You have a choice. Either step up or step aside. The path is open, but it requires your full energy. You can't transform your life with half effort. You can't become great while staying comfortable. You can't win if you're sitting on the sidelines. Get in the game. Bleed if you must. Sweat until your shirt is soaked with effort, but keep moving. Because every step forward, no matter how small, puts distance between you and who you used to be. The old you is comfortable, the old you procrastinates, the old you gives brilliant excuses, but the new you, the one you're becoming, that person is dangerous, that person is disciplined. That person doesn't hide behind someday. They act, they create, they own every outcome. Good or bad, they don't point fingers, they point forward. Burn the excuses, set fire to every story that says you're not enough, not ready, not worthy. Replace them with declarations, with commitment, with courage. Say it now. I am no longer available for anything that limits me. Speak that over your life every day, not as a mantra, but as a mindset, not as a quote, but as a contract. This is your arena, not the highlight reel, not the perfect post, the real battlefield, the 5 a.m. wake-ups, the hard conversations, the relentless effort, the silent sacrifices, the lonely nights. That's where transformation happens, not on a stage, but in the trenches. And if you want the results, you have to be willing to pay the price. No more delays, no more waiting for inspiration. Be the inspiration. Be the proof. Be the one who didn't fold under pressure, who didn't run from failure, who didn't need applause to keep going. Be the one who moved anyway, who acted anyway, who kept showing up long after the mood was gone. You're not just here to exist, you're here to lead, to dominate your domain, to inspire by example, to show others what happens when someone decides to stop talking and start doing. The world has enough spectators, enough talkers, enough excuse makers. What it needs, what your life needs, is a finisher. Someone who does the work, who pushes through, who turns excuses into ashes and rises from them. You've got everything you need. The drive, the vision, the capacity. Now it's time to activate it. Stop running in circles. Stop waiting for a sign. This is your sign. The mirror is your battleground. Your daily routine is your strategy. Your next decision is your breakthrough. So take it, own it, run with it, burn the excuses, and build the life that refuses to be denied. You've walked through the fire, now it's time to become the fire. Life isn't just about survival, it's about significance. You weren't created to drift aimlessly, chasing shallow victories or temporary applause. You were built for impact, for legacy, for something so much greater than yourself. The goal isn't to merely get by, and it's to burn so brightly with purpose that the world can't help but take notice. Because the truth is, when you live with deep intention, you light torches for others stuck in darkness. You become a symbol, a force, a flame that refuses to die out. Purpose is not a destination you stumble upon, it's a decision you commit to daily. It's not something you wait to discover, but something you forge with sweat, effort, and clarity. It begins when you stop living to impress and start living to express. You stop asking, what will they think of me? And start asking, what will they remember about me? Legacy is not left in your possessions. It's etched into the people you touch, the values you uphold, the energy you bring into every room. It's the message your life broadcasts when you're no longer in the conversation. If you want to transform your life forever, stop chasing motivation and start crafting mission. Motivation is fleeting, a spark that fades, but mission, that's a never-ending engine. That's what wakes you up when you're tired and drives you when no one's watching. You don't need more hype, you need more why. Why do you get up every morning? Why are you chasing this dream? Why do you refuse to quit? Find that reason and the rest will fall in place. Living with purpose doesn't mean the path gets easier, and it means the journey becomes worth it. The challenges still come, the doubts still knock, the pressure still mounts. But when your why is big enough, your how becomes irrelevant. You'll climb mountains with bleeding feet because what's waiting at the summit means more than the pain at the base. That's the difference between dabblers and dominators. One looks for the exit. The other digs deeper and says, this is why I started. If you're waiting for someone to give you permission to live boldly, stop. No one is coming to rescue you. No hero will arrive to give you a plan. No one owes you a breakthrough. The keys are already in your hand. The fire is already in your chest. But you must stoke it, feed it, and wield it with discipline. You want freedom? Earn it. You want greatness? Create it. You want legacy? Live for something beyond your own ego. Your legacy begins the moment you stop playing small. Playing small doesn't serve the world. Shrinking doesn't inspire change. Playing safe doesn't honor the gift of life. Stop dimming your light so others feel comfortable. Shine, speak truth, chase excellence, not for approval, for alignment. Because when you live in alignment with who you are, you become unstoppable. Not perfect, but purposeful. Not flawless, but fierce. Legacy is built one decision at a time. Every moment matters. Every choice echoes. It's not about doing one great thing someday. It's about doing small things greatly today. Showing up when it's hard. Giving your best when it feels like no one's watching. Helping others rise, even when you're still climbing. That's the work of a legacy builder. That's the mindset of someone who understands that impact isn't accidental, it's intentional. People will forget your job title, your salary, your possessions, but they will never forget how you made them. Feel. That is your fingerprint. Your energy is your message. So carry yourself with integrity, speak with fire, move with compassion, and show the world what it means to live with soul. Your vibe becomes your voice. Let it echo with power. Don't get caught up in proving people wrong and focus on proving yourself right, because this journey isn't about revenge, it's about revelation. It's about discovering who you are when everything is on the line. Your real power isn't found when you're applauded, it's revealed when you're tested, when you're bent but not broken, when you're doubted but not defeated. That's when your legacy starts to write itself in bold ink. Your struggles are not setbacks, they're the soil in which your strength grows. Use them. Use your story. Use your scars. Let your past be fuel, not a chain. The things that once tried to bury you can become the foundation for the empire you're building. Don't hide from them. Transform them. Your pain becomes power when you use it to serve a purpose bigger than you. Someone out there is waiting for your example. Be the reason they don't give up. If you want to live an unforgettable life, you must live it with full intensity. No half-hearted days. No lukewarm energy. Pour yourself out, show up with presence, speak with boldness, give your all. Life is short, stop saving your best for someday. Someday is not promised, today is all you've got. Use it like it's your last, because one day it will be. And when that day comes, what will they say about you? Will they say you played it safe or that you played all in? Will they say you lived by fear or you moved with fire? Will they say you settled or you soared? Only you can decide. Every day is a vote cast toward the story that will be told about your life. Make it a story worth hearing. Make it a legacy worth remembering. You are not here to blend in. You are here to break patterns, to shift atmospheres, to wake people up. But first you must wake yourself up. No more coasting, no more delaying, no more excuses. From this moment on, be the example, be the spark, be the one who turned their entire life around because they refused to live average for one more day. You want transformation? Then be transformational. In your thoughts, in your discipline, in your courage, be the fire in the room, the calm in the storm, the leader when everyone else waits for someone to lead. You've already got everything it takes. The only thing left to do is unleash it. Stop asking, can I really do this? And start declaring, I was made for this. You are more than your past, greater than your fears, stronger than your doubts. You are a force of nature when you commit fully to your purpose. When you walk into rooms like you belong, not because of ego, but because of preparation. When you lead with service, not status. When you rise, not by stepping on others, but by lifting them with you. This is what real power looks like. It's not loud, it's focused. It's not arrogant, it's anchored. It doesn't need validation, it moves from conviction. And that's what it takes to live a life that means something. To build a legacy that lasts longer than your breath. To become a name that becomes a story that becomes a standard that becomes a spark for the next generation. So from this day forward, no more drifting, no more waiting, no more wishing. This is the hour, this is the season, this is the moment when you stop watching the fire and become it. Now go, set your life ablaze and let the world feel your heat.